Red light therapy. There's a red light people stand in front of half naked that repairs their cells from the inside. It looks like a heat lamp at a fast food joint, except this one does a lot more for you than one's ever done for limp fries. It's called photobiomodulation. Low-wavelength red and near-infrared light sinks past your skin and reaches your mitochondria, the tiny energy factories packed inside your cells. Give those factories more light, and they pump out more ATP, the fuel your body runs on. More fuel means faster repair and lower inflammation. Research links it to more collagen production, quicker muscle recovery, and less joint pain. There's early evidence it may also increase testosterone with regular use around the torso. Some men aim it lower than that. That's their call. It won't take 10 years off your face or regrow your hairline overnight. It takes time to work. Try to rush the process by using it longer than intended, and you'll just end up drying out or burning your skin. Used as instructed, in short sessions at the correct distance, it's one of the more promising anti-aging tools on the market. Just don't expect a light panel to undo a lifetime of bad choices. Functional mushrooms. There's a mushroom that helps your brain physically rebuild itself, and it's not the kind that makes kaleidoscopes on the ceiling. It's lion's mane, part of a group called functional mushrooms, along with reishi, cordyceps, chaga, and others, meaning you take them for what they do, not how they taste. Lion's mane is the standout. Early research shows it can raise nerve growth factor, a protein that keeps your brain cells alive and helps them form new connections. That's the machinery behind memory and focus. Cordyceps is the one people take for energy, since studies suggest it may help your cells use oxygen more efficiently. The research is in its early stages, and most of it has been on animals, though plenty of athletes swear by it anyway. Chaga is loaded with antioxidants that fight the daily wear on your cells, and reishi calms your stress response and helps you wind down at night. Though it can thin your blood, so check with a doctor if you're on blood thinners or heading into surgery. The effects of functional mushrooms build up slowly over weeks, not hours, so give them some time before you decide if they actually work. And choose the extract, not the sugary gas station gummies, which barely passes the real thing. Mouth tape. Every night, people go to bed with their mouth taped shut, not as a punishment, not as a dare, because they wake up feeling better in the morning. The idea comes from the fact that your nose is built for breathing and your mouth isn't. Somewhere between screens and stuffy rooms, a lot of people turned into full-time mouth breathers at night. That wrecks oxygen intake, dries out your throat, and makes you snore. Tape your mouth shut, and every breath goes back through your nose, which is where the work gets done. Your nose warms and filters the air first, instead of dumping cold, dusty air straight down your throat for 8 hours. It also loads that air with nitric oxide, and that gas widens the blood vessels in your lungs so they can pull in more oxygen. Studies show your blood absorbs up to 18% more of it when you breathe through your nose. More oxygen through the night means deeper sleep, so you wake up rested instead of dragging yourself through the day. Nose breathing also keeps your jaw and tongue in place, so your airway stays open and your brain isn't jolting you awake every time it collapses. Everyone's first reaction is that mouth tape will cause you to suffocate, but the official tape sold for this has a vent hole in the middle and tabs on the corners, so some air still gets through. It also peels off easily. It's medical tape, not the stuff you have in your garage. Still, if you've got sleep apnea, a deviated septum, bad allergies, or a bad cold, taping your mouth shut is a bad move, and you'll want to clear it with your doctor before you even think of using it. Assuming none of that applies to you, mouth tape gives you better sleep, quieter nights, and the joy of waking up without a puddle on your pillow. Peptides. There's a class of compounds that tells your body to heal faster, burn fat, and rebuild tissue, and one of them became the most famous drug on Earth almost overnight. They're peptides, short chains of amino acids that work like tiny instruction notes your cells know how to read. Your body makes thousands of them naturally. You can also take specific ones to send specific orders. BPC-157, a synthetic copy of a protein found in your stomach, tells your body to speed up healing in muscle and tendons. Ipamorelin signals your pituitary gland to release more growth hormone, which is what people take for muscle gain, fat metabolism, deeper sleep, and faster recovery. Others aim at joint repair, immune function, or collagen production. Then there's the GLP-1 group, the ones behind Ozempic and Wegovy. GLP-1 is a peptide your gut releases after you eat. It tells your brain you're full and slows how fast your stomach empties. Make a synthetic version, inject it, your appetite vanishes, and the weight comes off. GLP-1 shots come with a prescription and regular checkups for a reason. Side effects range from constant nausea to gallbladder problems. And without someone tracking your protein intake, you can lose muscle along with the fat. The rest of the peptide world is a bit like the Wild West. Most are sold as research chemicals, so there's no pharmacy, no dosing instructions, and no promise the vial holds what the label says. They ship with a warning that they're not for human consumption, which every buyer ignores. Anyone going down this road should buy from a reputable source that publishes third-party testing, so you've at least got a rough idea what you may be injecting. Peptides may end up being one of the biggest changes in medicine this century, though the research is young enough that the long-term picture is still missing. Sauna. People have been sitting in saunas for decades to loosen up sore muscles and sweat out a long week. Nobody expected that hot wooden box would cut your risk of dying from heart disease in half. That number comes out of Finland, where researchers tracked more than 2,000 middle-aged men for 20 years. The ones using a sauna 4 to 7 times a week were 50% less likely to die of heart disease than the ones who never did. The same group was also 66% less likely to develop dementia. Sitting in a sauna raises your core temperature, raises your heart rate, and widens your blood vessels to carry heat out to your skin. Your heart gets a workout close to what a brisk walk gives it, and it's the only cardio you can do without moving a muscle. Repeat that a few times a week and your blood pressure drops, your arteries stay flexible, and your risk of heart problems falls with them. The heat also switches on heat shock proteins, repair molecules that fix damaged proteins inside your cells and clear out the junk that builds up as you age. Drink water before and after, and skip the alcohol because a hot session like that can lead to dehydration. And if you've already got a heart condition, make sure you clear it with a doctor before you start sweating for sport. Humming. Humming raises the nitric oxide in your sinuses 15-fold. It's the same gas using mouth tape helps you get more of, and it's far more subtle than wearing tape across your face in the middle of the day. Your sinuses produce nitric oxide around the clock, and normal breathing carries a small amount of it down with each inhale. Humming vibrates the sinus walls hard enough to shake far more of it loose, and the next breath in carries all of it to your lungs, where it widens your blood vessels and lets more oxygen cross into your blood. The vibration also moves air through passages that sit still most of the day, which helps keep your sinuses clear if you're the person whose head fills up every allergy season. Humming slowly also makes your exhale last longer than usual, and a long exhale activates the vagus nerve, the nerve that runs from your brainstem to your organs and tells your body to calm down. 2 or 3 minutes, in your car or at your desk, is enough. Your body will thank you even if your coworkers look at you funny. Cold water face plunge. You don't need a $2,000 ice tank to reset your nervous system. All you need is a bowl of cold water and the nerve to hold your face in it for 30 seconds. Full-body cold plunges get all the attention, but the science on them is genuinely split. Some studies show less inflammation, others show blunted muscle growth and raised stress hormones when people overdo it. The face plunge sidesteps that whole fight. Dunking your face in ice water sets off the mammalian dive reflex, a survival response humans share with seals. Cold water on your face convinces your body you've gone underwater, and it drops your heart rate, tightens your blood vessels, and you instantly go from panic mode to rest and digest. Just fill a bowl with cold water, add ice, and hold your face under for 10 to 30 seconds. That's all it takes for your vagus nerve to fire and your whole system to downshift. Skip this one if you've got a heart condition, since the dive reflex slows your heart rate fast. Otherwise, it's an easy, full nervous system reset you can pull off with one tray of ice rather than filling an entire bathtub. Creatine. Creatine has been sitting in gym bags for 30 years, and almost nobody realized it's a brain supplement too. All those bros loading it for bigger arms were dosing their memory by accident. Your brain is a power hog, burning a huge chunk of your daily energy just to think. Creatine helps your cells rebuild ATP, the fuel that runs everything from lifting a weight to holding a phone number in your head. Keep more creatine on hand, and the brain has more to work with, especially when it's stressed. Research shows creatine improves working memory, reasoning, and processing speed, and the effects show up most when you're sleep-deprived or under pressure, which is most people most of the time. A couple of things worth knowing. Creatine draws water into your muscles, so expect a few pounds on the scale and some bloating the first couple of weeks. It also throws off kidney blood tests without doing any damage, so if you've got kidney trouble, mention it to your doctor. Creatine is one of the most studied supplements on the planet, with a long record of being safe, and now it's even being tested for depression and ADHD. Turns out the muscleheads were right, even if none of them could have told you why. Binaural Beats. Play two slightly different tones, one in each ear, and your brain invents a third one that changes how you think. It sounds like a party trick. It's closer to a tuning fork for your head. The mechanism is strange but simple. Send 400 Hz into your left ear and 410 into your right, and your brain won't hear two notes. It hears the 10 Hz gap between them, a phantom beat that exists nowhere except inside your skull. Your brain starts matching its own electrical rhythm to the pace of that beat through a process scientists call neural entrainment. Depending on the frequency, it pulls you toward different states: slow delta waves for deep sleep, theta for daydreaming, alpha for calm focus, or beta for problem solving. The research is cautiously optimistic. Binaural beats may improve sleep, sharpen focus, and take the edge off anxiety through sound alone. The whole thing depends on headphones. Play it through a speaker and both ears get both tones, which cancels the effect and leaves you sitting there listening to a weird sound for no reason. Fasted morning walks. Walking before breakfast burns fat in a way the exact same walk after breakfast can't. Same route, same pace, different result, decided entirely by whether you ate first. The reason sits in your fuel tank. Overnight, your body burns through the sugar stored in your muscles and liver. By morning, those stores are low, so a walk before you eat sends your body to fat for the shortfall. Eat first and it burns the breakfast instead, leaving the fat where it was. Morning movement on an empty stomach also improves insulin sensitivity, meaning your body handles blood sugar better for the rest of the day. That's a real edge for anyone drifting toward the blood sugar problems half of adults are sliding into. 20 or 30 minutes at a pace where you could still hold a conversation is the target, since turning it into a hard session on an empty stomach will just leave you dizzy. If you're diabetic or on blood sugar medication, talk to your doctor before skipping breakfast for exercise. The walk itself is easy. It's the front door that stops most people. NSDR. There's a 20-minute lie down that leaves you as refreshed as a nap, except you never fall asleep. It's called NSDR, short for non-sleep deep rest. And brain scans have measured dopamine rising up to 65% during one session. You simply lie down, close your eyes, and follow a recording that walks you through slow breathing and relaxing your body part by part. You stay awake the whole time, but your brain slides into the slow, drowsy waves that show up right before sleep. In that state, your nervous system powers down its stress response and dopamine climbs back up. You come out of it with better focus and a calmer head, without the groggy hangover a real nap can leave you with. Surgeons use it between operations, and athletes use it between sessions. You can do it at your desk with a pair of earbuds and a door that closes. Magnesium Glycinate. You bought magnesium, took it for a week, felt nothing, and figured it doesn't work on you. What actually happened is you grabbed a form that barely makes it into your blood. Magnesium runs more than 300 reactions inside you, covering sleep, stress, muscle tension, and mood. Plenty of people sit at the low end without knowing it, since processed food carries less of it than it used to, while caffeine, stress, and alcohol drain what's left. Being low on it shows up as cramps, restless nights, brain fog, and a short fuse. The problem is that most shelves are stocked with magnesium oxide and citrate. They're cheap because they're poorly absorbed, which is why they send you to the bathroom instead of to sleep. Glycinate is the version worth buying. It's bound to glycine, an amino acid that slows nerve signals in your brain and lowers your core temperature slightly, which is one of the signals your body waits for before it lets you fall asleep. Glycine also carries the mineral through your gut wall, so more of it gets in and less of it is likely to run through you. If your kidneys don't work well, check with a doctor before using it. Even if they do, start with a low amount and build up, since even glycinate will loosen your stomach if you take too much at once. Get the right form, take it an hour before bed, and watch it do what the melatonin gummies kept promising and never did. Some guy in the comments is already typing that none of these work, having never tried a single one. He, more than anyone, could probably use a nice long walk and a bowl of ice water.